I'm free to be who I be. The band is Mastodon, the EP is Cold Dark Place, and this is a Ramblin' on review. Absolutely terrible. I'd like to apologise for the sound quality on this. I don't need to apologise to you. I'm using my GoPro for this one because my normal setup I don't have access to at the moment. So I'm just using the onboard mic, unfortunately. Now, why is a middle-aged grey man bothering doing a review on music? Why is he bothering being on YouTube at all? Well, because I believe I have value. Hello? I have value. At the beginning of 2017, Mastodon released Emperor of Sand, their 8th studio album, and the first in a return to their conceptual side of albums, after the holy triptych of albums Leviathan, Blood Mountain and Crack the Sky. Now, I enjoyed The Hunter, and I got into it. Took me a while to get into Once More Round the Sun, but I can appreciate it for what it is. But Emperor of Sand, for me, was a true return to form. Fantastic album, great riffs, sort of combination of everything we've come to know and love from Mastodon, both old and new. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. What are you doing? Now, anyone who watched the 12-part making of documentary, which you can find on YouTube, I'll put the links in the description, will be able to see that Brent Hinds seems somewhat absent from the album. It's Bill Kelleher wrote a hell of a lot of the riffs. Troy Sanders' wife was diagnosed with cancer. Luckily she made a full recovery. Bill Kelleher's mum, however, was diagnosed with cancer at a similar time and sadly passed away. This led to the Emperor of Sand. The Emperor of Sand in question being a metaphor for death, or more specifically for cancer. Now, in an interview last year, Brent Hinds went on record saying that he expected what turned out to be Emperor of Sand to be a double album. As we all know, this was not the case, but what we did get later on in the year, a couple of months back, was the Cold Dark Place EP, and this was written primarily by Brent Hinds. 3 of the tracks were written during the Once More Round the Sun sessions, and those were Northside Star, Blue Walsh and Cold Dark Place, and they centre primarily around a particularly bad breakup that Brent Hinds was going through at the time, and you can tell there's very personal lyrics. The last song was Toe to Toes, which was the first single released from it, and that was written during the Emperor of Sand sessions. And lyrically and musically, I could see how that could fit on that album. Now, Emperor of Sand definitely had some of Brent Hinds' classic lead playing on there. Fantastically done, fantastic performances from all the band members, but there was definitely a more Bill Kelleher vibe to the album. His Hetfieldian rhythm, his Hetfieldian right hand, very precise rhythm playing, which I love. Cold Dark Place is straight off the bat, you can tell this is a Brent Hinds writing. Just like and subscribe, mate. The EP is steeped in echo and reverb and ambience and atmosphere. It's drenched in a kind of a dread, but there's a romanticism, a beauty to it as well, as there is with a lot of Mastodon's music. Northside Star. The EP starts off with Northside Star and goes, you can tell from the opening chords this has Brent Hinds written all over it. Has that southern tinged chicken picking banjo style. 13s, I think he's using, is it a 13 string or a 9 string? I read somewhere 13 string don't make any sense, does it? Do they have those? Might even be a steel pedal guitar. He's using a guitar. There's a guitar involved. Somewhere on this album is a guitar. Stick to the path, stay off the moors. The lyrics are pained and haunting. Brent Hinds is really wearing his heart on his sleeve on this EP. That's very apparent, and considering the subject matter, it all makes sense. There's definitely a broken heart involved here. The song evolves a bit later on into proggier material and an introduction to Bron Daylor for the first time on the EP, with his always stunning vocals. And towards the end of the song they actually introduce a funkier sort of a riff. Very Mastodon, still very heavy and dark, but definitely a funkier element to it, which works really well. Blue Walsh. Blue Walsh is the second song on the EP. What's a Blue Walsh? And it's by far the most psychedelic, I think. The whole EP's got a psychedelic feel to it, but this one more than ever. Drenched in echo and reverb. It really... I'm trying to do this while concentrating on where the hell I am. Yeah, it's got vocal performances from starting off with Bron and Brent, and the first appearance of Troy Sanders, who's... Like and subscribe! Yeah, Troy Sanders' lyrics on this one are very good. Great song. Great song. When in doubt, B-roll. Toe to Toes. Now, Toe to Toes was the first single to be released. Well, the only single, as far as I'm aware. It was the first song to be released, the first that I heard, and I'm sure the first that you heard. And this is probably the standout track on the album for me. EP starts out with a classic banjo roll style Hinds riff. I'm trying to navigate the path, much like life. So yeah, there's clapping, there's drums, guitars, bass, vocals. Seriously though, Troy Sanders' vocals on this song are awesome. He's honestly, I think, one of the current best metal vocalists. I just think he's absolutely... I think he does such a great job on this song. Why am I going down here? Some of the guitar work is absolutely fantastic. There's a real prog riff towards the back end of the song, and you've got Brent Hinds' classic solos. All in all, a pretty magnificent Mastodon song. Bloody hell. Cold Dark Place. Ending the EP, we have the title track, Cold Dark Place, with again that atmospheric acoustic guitar intro. I'm not sure I like it in here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this EP was based solely around a bad breakup that Brent Hinds went through in 2014, and this song is really wearing his heart on his sleeve. Anyone who's been through a bad breakup, listen to this song, listen to the lyrics. I think you can relate. Now, upon first listen, I wasn't actually blown away by the EP. Not that I thought it was bad, it's just not what I came to expect from a Mastodon release. But if there's one thing I should know about Mastodon, you should never expect anything from them. They'll always do what they want, and they always pull from a wide array of influences. After listening to it a fair few times now, I love it. I absolutely love the EP. It's so atmospheric, it's so heartfelt. There's a lot of great moments on it, and I think it sits really well in a Mastodon discography. The sky is beginning to bruise. I believe I must be homebound. Okay, so that was the review, if you can call it that. I mean, it really was just babble. This is the Ramblin in Ramblin On. I mean, I didn't plan it. I don't know if you can tell. I was pretty much winging it the entire time. It was packed full of useless information. I was thinking the best course of action would basically be to buy the EP yourself, listen to it, you won't be disappointed. If for any reason you enjoyed this absolute drivel of a middle-aged grey chap walking on his own through a dark forest. I think I'm on my own. Then just like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. If it's not too much hassle, like and subscribe. Thank you. Absolute wow. This is indeed a cold, dark place.